I was an obnoxious teenager, no doubt about it. In fact, I left home when I was 15 because I didn't want to follow the rules of the family. I took on many different jobs to pay the rent, and I got to try different things. And one thing I learned is that I did not want to have to make a living as a waitress or even as a taxi driver, as interesting as that was. I wanted to have more autonomy and control over my own life. And I went to school some of the time, but I have a stack of truancy letters that my mother left for me. But I love to learn. So I studied hard, and I studied the things that I found very interesting, which at that time was mathematics. And I was admitted to Princeton. It was amazing because my GPA was very poor. But back then you could write an essay and you could make an argument for why you were worthy of this great opportunity to go to college. The world was male-dominated in engineering at the time, there's no doubt. But I came from a male-dominated family with no sisters and 4 brothers, a father who was a physicist. I felt I was as good as any of them, probably better. So I studied mechanical engineering because it had the fewest requirements, but I also enjoyed the thought that I could build things, that I could do things, that I could work on the most complicated things on the planet. Spaceships, airplanes. And then I didn't realize that, in fact, the most complicated things, the most beautiful things on the planet were not engineered by human beings. They're the products of nature. I fell in love with chemistry at that point, especially biochemistry, because then I realized I had finally found the world that I wanted to be an engineer of. I wanted to engineer the biological world, because that was the most beautiful, functional machines that have ever existed on the planet, far beyond anything a human could engineer. When I arrived at Caltech, I finally found the job, the engineering job, that would give me the freedom to explore. I decided to work on something that everyone thought was just crazy, because I knew that evolution was the most powerful design process, and that I could use that to explore the future of biological systems and biological molecules. And so I just did it, and it worked. It worked, and I knew it would work. I won the Nobel Prize 30 years after that. But I always knew in my heart that it was an important invention and that it was an important realization that I could share with other people. It's not about me. The Nobel Prize is about humanity and what humans can achieve, and inspiring others to think that they could do something that might be able to make this world a better place. Many students ask me how they should go about their careers and their lives. I tell them most people do what other people do. So rather than conform to what everybody else is doing and maybe make a little addition to that, you have to go outside your comfort zone in order to have the joys that exploration brings. In the sciences and in engineering, it's the non-conformity that really leads to big advances. Engineers build the world. Engineers solve the question of how do we exist on this planet? And they do it in a concrete way. They create the inventions and the technologies that translate to helping people. I find that a fascinating thing to be able to do. I'm proud to be a chemical engineer because chemical engineers do wonderful things. I think that anybody can be an engineer because engineering is doing. And almost anyone is good at doing when given the freedom and the tools with which to build a new solution. Engineering will be responsible for helping us feed, clothe, house, care for the soon-to-be 8 billion people on the planet without destroying our fabulous natural world.